It started as an ordinary day. I was 34 working the soundboard at Studio 50. Just another Sunday on the Ed Sullivan Show. We'd had dancing bears, acrobats, Elvis a few years back, and even a guy who could play Mozart on water glasses. But this wasn't like the others. February 9th, 1964. The day four lads from Liverpool plugged in and plugged into history. I got in early that day, 7:30. Cold coffee in one hand, mic list in the other. The city outside was frozen, gray, slushy, nothing unusual. Inside, different story. Security was doubled. Studio 50 felt less like a TV set and more like Fort Knox. I remember one of the assistant directors, Sullivan's gone and booked the British invasion. I rolled my eyes. Invasion? From who? Shakespeare? We'd had British acts before. Helen Shapiro, Cliff Richard, that lot. They were fine, but nothing to write home about. I figured this new band, the Beatles, weird name, was just more of the same. A flavor of the month with too much hairspray. Rehearsals started around noon. The boys showed up with their gear, 3 Epiphone guitars, a Ludwig drum kit, and enough charm to sell snow to Eskimos. Ringo set up first. Polite guy asked me where he could get a cup of tea. I pointed to the vending machine and apologized in advance. Paul had this charisma. He could have sung the phone book and made it catchy. John was sharp, not just in wit. He saw everything. Said something like, "Hope we don't break your soundboard, mate." I told him if they did, CBS would finally give me a new one. He winked. George, quiet, reserved, but once he plugged in, man, could that guy make a Gretsch sing. They ran through a few songs, All My Lovin' first, then Till There Was You, then She Loves You. Even during rehearsal, there was a charge, something electric under the surface. The harmonies were tight, the timing flawless. They weren't just another pop band, they had teeth. By 3 p.m., the sidewalks were packed. Cops tried to hold the line, but teenagers kept spilling into the street like soda from a shaken bottle. Inside, Ed Sullivan was pacing like a man about to introduce a moon landing. He kept repeating, "America's never seen anything like this." I thought he was exaggerating. Mitzi Gaynor was supposed to headline. Poor lady. Got bumped to third segment. Some tap dancer went before her, and even the guy who used to warm up the crowd said, "Nobody cares. They're all here for those boys." The green room was a zoo. Parents, execs, camera crews, secretaries, reporters, screaming fans. The buzz wasn't just hype. It felt like something was about to shift. 7:58 p.m., the red light blinked. The crowd was louder than I'd ever heard it, even louder than when Elvis came on in 56. Ed walked out, poker face on, gave his classic intro. "Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles," and Studio 50 exploded. All My Loving, first chords hit and the place went feral. Girls crying, boys jumping. I had to ride the faders harder than ever, trying to keep the vocals up over the screaming. Till There Was You, Paul took the lead. Slow, smooth, crooning to the camera. The director, bless him, cut to each Beatle during the solo. When they zoomed in on George, I swear 3 girls passed out. She Loves You, that was the kicker. The yeah, yeah, yeah chorus wasn't just a lyric, it was a war chant. It bounced off the rafters and rolled down Broadway. I looked over at Ed, he wasn't smiling, he was grinning. The ratings were going to break records and he knew it. After the set, I followed the band backstage. The hallway smelled like sweat and hairspray. Paul was still humming. John lit a cigarette and said, "Think they liked it?" I laughed and said, "Kid, they're never going to shut up about it." We shook hands. George thanked me for the sound levels. Ringo gave me a button off his jacket. I still have it. Ed came in and told them they'd be back in 2 weeks, and again a week after that. The network wanted them on as much as possible, and honestly, so did everyone else. By Monday morning, America was in full-blown Beatlemania. Every record store in the city sold out of their albums. Girls were carving "I Love Paul" into lockers. Boys were asking barbers for the Beatles haircut. DJs stopped spinning Bobby Benton and started playing "I Want to Hold Your Hand" on a loop. One kid called the station and said, "I used to want to be a firefighter. Now I want to be a Beatle." You know what still gets me? We recorded it, every second of it. The full show, reels spinning, audio dialed in, cameras catching it live. We sent it out across the airwaves to every corner of America. 70 million people watched that night. Think about that. Half the country all tuned in at once. Families gathered around black and white sets, teenagers screaming at living room TVs, parents blinking like, what on earth just happened? But the full master tape, gone. Might have been taped over. Back then, nobody thought to keep everything. Tape was expensive. Most shows were seen once, then shelved or wiped. Just another Sunday variety hour, they thought. Not this one. The Beatles didn't just perform, they detonated, and the blast reached far beyond Studio 50. It hit every diner jukebox, every school hallway, every kid strumming a cheap guitar in a garage. The echo's still out there, even if the original tape isn't. Some say it's a tragedy that we lost it. Maybe. But sometimes the most powerful things don't live on tape. They live in memory, in stories, in the feeling you get when you hear those first few chords of "All My Loving" and time sort of bends. That night, something shifted, not just in music, in culture, in people. And I was there, just a sound guy in the corner, trying to hold the levels steady while history roared through the speakers. It started as an ordinary day and ended as the night the world turned up the volume.